Right, in this episode we're going to be addressing this head unit. Let's be honest, it is absolutely pants. And then we're going to be addressing some performance mods, but the question is it actually going to make a difference? I guess we'll find out. Okay, so to recap, if you haven't seen episode 1 already, what we're going to be doing to this car, we're going to be lowering it on some coilovers, putting some nice wheels on there, an exhaust, an intake, some security upgrades, and then for the audio, which is the all-important question, we're going all out. Subwoofer in the back is going to be a 15-inch Orion HCCA, which is an old school sub. If you know the sub, you know these subs pound. They have some serious power. So that's going in along with the HCCA 3000 amplifier. We're going to be running some JBL components up front with some door builds and changing the head unit. It's going to be a massive, massive build. So first things first is going to be replacing this head unit because it is a very, very dated unit. So let's get the car in the workshop and we'll get the head unit replaced. Right, so now that we're in the workshop, I can show you why we're going to change this head unit and how pretty poor it is. So this is the factory unit that would have come from Audi when the vehicle was made. So this has been around for probably about pretty close to 15 to 20 years, I would say. So it's a navigation unit. It does have Bluetooth, but only for phone calls. There's no streaming. Got normal radio, so no DAB or anything like that. Media. So there's a media interface in the glove box. You've got a directory for your phone. You've got steering wheel controls on this, which will adjust, but we need to change it. So we are going to put this unit in here. So this is the JVC KW M875 DBT. So this is the unit that we've taken out of the EP3. This is a fantastic head unit. I was really, really happy with it. We replaced the unit in the EP3 for a Kenwood. So rather than this go to waste, we're going to put this into here for now. We might upgrade it in the future. But I think this is a very, very good starting point. So let's pull this old crappy head unit out and get this bad boy in its place. It was basically out. No comment. No comment. All right. So, side-by-side comparison between the old versus the new. You'd think this being the old one, being a lot smaller. Obviously technology's come leaps and bounds from when this was designed, so this thing is massive, it's really heavy. Obviously this does have a disc player in there, which gives it obviously a bit more bulk. This doesn't have a CD player or anything like that, but it's just massive. For the features that it's got, it really doesn't need to be this big. This has tenfold more features on it and is massively shallower. We've got a larger screen on it, no big chunky buttons or anything like that. We're just going to have a panel that sits around it and everything will be controlled by steering wheel controls and the little buttons that it's got on the top. All the harness and stuff is all wired up and ready to go in. But the fun part is running the mic and the DAB antenna. So we're just doing a little bit of trimming just to make it look, to kind of give it that final finish. JVC. Right, so it's been a couple of weeks, had the head unit in, and it's been fantastic. Who's this now? Hello?
Hello, Blayde. Hello, Blayde. Yeah, it's Les from Play Motors.
Hey, mate. Thanks anyway, mate.
No problem, mate. Cheers.
All right, cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, so as you can see, head unit's in, working perfectly fine. I was just been on a quick phone call with a mechanic. But yeah, everything's working perfectly fine. It's been a fantastic unit, to be honest. Sound quality is really, really good. The fact that I've actually got some sort of streaming ability now is really nice as well. We've got obviously Android Auto, so we've got Waze on the screen now. I can go over to my music if I need to. I can do a split screen setup if I need to. If I need to go home or go work, it's nice and easy. You've got the navigation there. It all updates through your phone, so you don't need to do any updates on the unit for the navigation or anything like that. So it's a really nice thing to have in the car. And as you can see, it massively modernizes the cabin as well. Right, so now that the head unit's done, the only thing left to do is the map. So we'll put it back into the workshop and get the remap done. We're going to do a stage 1 ECU and TCU, so engine and gearbox tune. So let's pull it into the workshop. We'll see what kind of difference this makes. Right, so first things first, when we're mapping a car, we basically need to check for any fault codes. So this is our VAGCOM app, or VCDS. This is what a lot of people would use in the industry for checking fault codes on any Volkswagen Audi Group vehicle. It's going to check for any engine codes at all. No fault codes found. So that's what we want to see. So once we've done that, we're then going to go back and check for any fault codes in the gearbox. Again, no fault codes found. So now that we've checked the car using VAGCOM, what we would normally do at this stage is then take the car out for a test drive, basically a base run. But one, I've already done this, and two, I just want to get this map done. So first things first, we need to hook up the battery to a charger. So let's get that done. So now we're in the REVO Portal app or software. This is what we use to actually do the tuning. So we're going to find the map that we want, choose it, click on it, and then let it load in. It does take a little while, sometimes 20 to 30 minutes, but we're going to crack on with that now. Okay, so it's all done. Burner's been successfully completed. So that's essentially done now. We'll take it for a drive to see how it drives. If it drives fine, then we'll leave it there. If we want a little bit more fuel to be added or change the ignition timing and stuff like that, a bit more boost, we can do that. Before we do that, we're going to do the TCU, so the gearbox tune. Now, a gearbox map is something that is quite commonly overlooked, unfortunately, especially if someone's bought a car like an S3, for instance, and they want to go for a stage 1 map. Fair enough, I completely understand why you want to do that. But if your car has an automatic gearbox, especially DSG, and you go for a stage 1 or stage 2 and you keep the stock gearbox map, you're going to find that the gearbox is very, how can I put it, unresponsive, very sluggish. It's going to want to change 6th gear all the time. So doing a TCU map will essentially match the gearbox and the engine together. The long and short of it is, when you change gear on a stock gearbox map, if you're hitting the pedal, you go, like that. Now when you change gear, you're going to hit the pedal and you're going to, so it's a lot more responsive. Now, whilst that's doing its thing, I thought I'd show you a bit of an unfortunate scenario that happened the other day. I didn't notice until I came into work the very next day. If you gander on down here, move these wires out of the way, a bit of damage. Now, we did have a little bit of lacquer peel here before, it was little. This, all of this here, you might not be able to see it because it's quite dirty. This is all fresh damage. All here, all up here. Now, what I noticed was someone reversed into the car whilst the car was parked. Now, thank my lucky stars, we had a dash cam. The dash cam we had in there was a thinkware, and thinkwares have parking mode, which basically means it records whilst the car's parked, doesn't need to be powered on, and it will record any movement or if there has been an impact. So all I did, I went on my phone, scrolled through my footage, found the rough time that it would have happened, and went, oh, okay, look, there's been an impact. Looked at it, and we'll play the footage now. So obviously in that kind of scenario, you're going to be a bit miffed. I mean, I obviously was, but the good thing is we've got it on camera. So it's going through insurance, so that's going to get repaired soon. Hey ho, these things happen, but the main thing is we had a dash cam, and obviously it is clearly a very good thing to have a dash cam in your car, even if you don't need it whilst you're driving, just for whilst you're parked. Anyway, that's enough about that. Let's see how the map's getting on. So looks like the map's all complete. We've done the ECU and TCU map. So now all that's left to do is take it for a spin. Hey! Right, so the map is on, it's all done, but typical Southall traffic is kind of restricting us a little bit. But when we get around this corner, I should be able to show you kind of a bit of a pull. We're not going to do too much because we'd be breaking the law probably, but we'll get around this corner, I'll chuck it in sport, we'll see how it does. You've got hold of that camera. Go. Go. Red light. Very good. So stock power on this car is around about 265 brake. This map running high octane fuel, which is what I normally run anyway, it's a premium fuel essentially. It's spec'd at about 315-ish. They give you rough figures because obviously different cars will run different kind of powers, down to the health of the car and obviously how many miles and stuff like that. But yeah, in general terms, should be around that 315, maybe a little bit more because it's a lower mileage car, should be quite healthy. But yeah, more than enough power for daily use, to be honest. All right, so we'll check what it's like in manual. So we'll tip it over into manual in first gear. Let's go. Nice. Sport. Traction off. Brake. Accelerator. Was that fun, Jason? Well, that was fun. So, did the remap make a difference? Yes, massive difference. Obviously, a physical power difference. Drivability is massively improved, especially with that gearbox tune as well. Just general driving around, cruising around is so much nicer. When you put your foot down, you've got a lot more power. Changing gears is perfect. In terms of the map, fantastic improvement. The stereo, again, really, really nice improvement. It's made driving the car a lot more enjoyable because you've got all of your music on there, you've got your navigation, you haven't got to have your phone on a stand and all that rubbish. You can just jump in, have your phone in your pocket, you don't even need to get it out. It comes straight up on the screen and you're away. You've got your navigation, music, phone book, all you need. Now, in terms of a remap, I would always recommend a stage 1 at least for almost any vehicle, even if it's diesel, because a remap is the best pound for brake horsepower improvement you're going to make, or modification, sorry, you'll make to your car without fail. I mean, a stage 1 remap from REVO will range from anywhere from 350 to 500 pounds, but you're going to gain, if it's a vehicle like this, 50 plus horsepower. Name another modification that's going to give you that for that kind of money. Now, in terms of the stereo in this car, upgrading that just makes perfect sense as well, because you've got everything you need in one place. On the original stereo, you didn't even have music streaming. All you had was hands-free calls. The navigation was outdated and you have to keep putting CDs in to try and update it. It's an absolute pain. So upgrading it, it all works with your steering wheel controls. You've got Android Auto. Why wouldn't you want to do it? So have these mods made a difference? Yes, clearly. I'm very happy with the outcome of the car at the moment, but we've still got a long way to go. So in the next episode, we'll be doing the coilovers and the wheels, so stay tuned for that. But that's it from me. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. And if there's any other modifications you think we should do to this car, which we haven't already mentioned, make sure you drop it in the comments. I will see you in the next one.